Good morning, Jean-Marc.
Good morning, Laurent.
When you talk about SmartShape to your prospects or clients, you always ask questions about the existing business applications or databases. Why is it so important to leverage existing data in a company?
There is this idea when we talk about digital transformation that we go from nothing digital to everything digital. And that's a fallacy. In all those clients and prospects we meet in engineering, construction, and so on, they already have quite a lot of tools and existing data around their business. So digital transformation is more about leveraging this existing data than creating it in the first place. So our first goal is to be able to leverage existing data and then probably create new data and so on, iterate. But the first goal is really to leverage what's already there. And there's quite a lot.
Okay. What are the drawbacks of using files, and especially CAD files, to build up a digital twin?
The digital twin cannot be just the CAD model. The first obvious reason is that the life cycle of the digital twin is very different from the life cycle of the CAD model. The CAD model is created and probably most of the time finalized during the design phase of the project. But a digital twin will live long after that. If you take a building, for example, we know that 75% of the cost of a building will be after construction is done. So it means that that's where the digital twin will be the most critical. This phase, which is after design phase, okay, so operation, maintenance, and so on. And so it's obvious that the CAD model, even if it's complete with all the data you might need at this step, will not be enough to have a digital twin that you can leverage. So the CAD model and the file approach is not enough. The file approach is also very limiting because a file on someone's hard drive, it's very hard to use. Every time you want to send a file, you send a copy of the file, and you end up with multiplicating the model of your digital twin. So that's not a good idea. Whereas the database approach, you have one database, and all your applications will leverage this one database. So you have really one digital twin with one set of data, and you have really one frame of reference, which is very important to connect everyone together.
Mm-hmm. What's SmartShape's vision about leveraging existing data?
The vision of SmartShape is really to take what's already there. SmartShape is a tool to explore and to visualize and to transform those existing shape, existing data into actual business tools and business applications. But the goal is certainly not to replace neither the existing CAD design tools nor the existing databases. So the philosophy is really to connect to what's existing, leveraging existing CAD files with many different formats, but also leveraging existing databases with different database standards that have been already in the industry for decades now. So connect to the existing IT and databases is the one philosophy of SmartShape.
Okay. From a technical point of view, can you give us an example of how you interface SmartShape with a database?
Yes. Quite recently, actually, we've built a small prototype for a MySQL connector. So the idea is quite simple. We had an existing SQL database, okay? And we wanted to be able to make sure that what you have in this database can go in real time into SmartShape. Say you have a project, a construction project, for example, and you want to track live progress of the construction or maintenance operations. Well, every object in the building will be stored in such a SQL database. And you want to make sure that the status of each object will be mirrored into SmartShape, so that when you click on the object, you will actually see what is the maintenance status of this object. Well, to do that, you have to make sure that the data inside MySQL will go automatically into SmartShape. So that's the goal of this connector. So to do that, we use the feature inside MySQL, which is called triggers. And so the idea behind triggers is very simple. It will actually listen to what's happening inside your database. And when there is a change, it will log the change in a separate table. And then the connector will just consume this table, take those updates, and push them to SmartShape using the API. So that's very easy to do.
And what you did with MySQL, can you replicate it with other kinds of databases?
Absolutely. What SmartShape provides out of the box is a web API. So we have no specific connection with one database or one software. We have a standard API which can be used to create connectors for basically any product, any business applications, and any database in the industry. And so creating these kind of small connectors for MySQL or Oracle or SAP is actually fairly simple to do. What's also very important is that since we have this standard API, if you want to change your IT, your database, you can create a new connector. You're not trapped by this connection. If you want to add new databases that will use a different software, you can do it too. Okay, so this layer of abstraction and compatibility is very important to make sure that we connect to existing data without modifying software, without modifying the schema of the table. It stays the same, but also making sure that in the future, when you want things to evolve, you're still completely free to do so.
You sometimes talk about a programmable SmartShape.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean by programmable SmartShape? Can you give us a real-life example of how you can program a SmartShape?
Well, once you have your database connected to SmartShape, you have basically a 3D object on the screen. And data-wise, this object has a series of keys and values, a series of properties attached to it, what we call metadata inside SmartShape. And so when we talk about programming the shape, it's really about writing code that will leverage this metadata to change the appearance of the 3D object. So let's say we have in our database the maintenance status of some equipment, and the equipment is marked as out of order in the database. Now that we have this connection, the equipment, the object in the SmartShape will be marked as out of order too. And in SmartShape, I can write a program so that the object appears red because it is out of order. So this is one simple use case. And you can create much more complex use cases. Let's say, for example, you have a network, like electrical network. So you don't just have more than equipments. You have equipments and wires. And you want, for example, the equipment to appear red when it's out of order or when the network it is connected to is disconnected or out of order. So it's not just the properties of the objects, but properties of things that are connected to the object, okay? And so using the SmartShape programming language, you can do that too. You can have this network idea programmed into your SmartShape so that when the network is disconnected, equipments are red also. So since you have a fully featured programming language, you can basically program any use case that you might want to use your digital twin for. Any business use case, any application can be written inside SmartShape using this.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.